So to carry on the conversation, we're actually going to move on now to two of our participants here from the Elektor team. We have CJ Abate, Director of Content and Lab at Elektor, who's going to join us on the stage, as well as Don Akkermans, who's co-founder of the Lenthe Foundation. And I think we also have a quote from Margot Koymans, Director of the Philips Foundation. And what we are looking at now is examining how businesses explain their position on ethics and sustainability on their websites. So, Don, I think we should start with you.
Yes.
What have you been doing in this area, looking at how companies explain their position on ethics and sustainability?
Yes. We found a very interesting business case. It's about Philips. Philips, the healthcare company. Maybe you guys know that Philips lost the last year 55% of its stock exchange value. 55%. Something like 55 billion to 15 billion. Why? They had big problems with this respiration equipment they bought. It was a company and it turned out to be really a bad company and everything went wrong. So they lost a lot of money over there. At the same time, last year we had as a speaker Margot Koymans. She's the director of the Philips Foundation. And the Philips Foundation is one of the that it's very rare that electronic companies have foundations, but they have. And she turned that foundation not into a greenwashing machine, like put X% of your profit into that foundation and give it away, because that's what they used to do. Like, look at us, being good for society. She turned it. She turned it into a foundation that was 100% focused on electronic and healthcare. And she also communicated a lot about it, intensely. Her mission last year on the WEEF was be good and tell about it. And she did. And last week we learned that at the business valuation of brands, global brands, Philips was raising 6% in value. They went from something like 11 billion to 12 billion. And that's, of course, a great business case of how it can work for your financial value also to do good and tell about it. Now, what we did is, for the exhibitors here, 150 exhibitors, maybe a few of you are also here, we researched whether you guys talk about ethics and SDG and ESG on your corporate websites. And now we're going to show the results of these
in 2021.
In 2021, what they did in 2021, talking about business and ethics on their corporate websites. Can somebody click?
Yeah, so there we have
there it is.
presentation
Okay.
there.
Don, maybe really quickly, what is Lenthe?
Lenthe is the foundation, the corporate foundation of Elektor. So Elektor is one of the producers of this ethical forum, and Lenthe is the corporate foundation of that. Thanks. Okay, so here you see corporate communication and ethics. We checked out on these websites, do they say anything about revenue? And by the way, I was pretty much surprising news, that only 12% said something about their revenue. I thought that would have been 50 or 60 or 70%, but they even don't speak about their revenue. Crazy, huh? 12% only. The rest is not mentioned. Then you go to profit, even less. So only 4% is transparent and honest about what profit they make. Okay, next. Corporate communication ethic. Employees, that's an easy one. 50% says there is a staff of 100 or 200 or 1,000 or 10,000. So that seems to be information they do like to share, okay? Then clients, they also talk about clients, also not that much. I would say put your clients in the spotlight on your corporate website. Be proud of your clients, but also not that much, okay? Now about ethics, 70% is saying something about their ethical behavior. Do they have a conduct of ethics? Do they have a code? Do they underwrite, for example, the ethical codes of the IEEE, the biggest organization for engineers in the world? They have launched an ethical code, but even not on the website like we underwrite that code. That's easy, right? But it doesn't happen. SDG 20%, a little bit more. Yes, we do take into account sustainability and the development goals of the United Nations. Sometimes also by mentioning the numbers. As you know, there are 17 goals to meet according to the United Nations. And they write about it. 70% is saying something about, yeah, we do know the SDG, and we try to achieve these goals, whether it's a journey or already tick the box, we achieved it, okay? Corporate foundation is also interesting. I just told you about the business case of Philips, that they launched a corporate foundation. Almost none of the big companies have foundations. Yesterday there was the CEO roundtable. So we had, as we call, the big billion boys from the big billion companies. And they were talking about ethics. They have some ethical codes. But the charity programs and the foundations, they don't have that. And we said, well, maybe it would be nice to communicate about it. Because if you have a foundation and you show your social behavior and your social responsibility, CEOs of the big companies like Infineon and NXP say, yeah, you guys are totally right. Also because we need talent. And young people are more interested in the mission of your company than in a job description. Almost first ask the question, what's your mission? Why are you on Earth? Do you sometimes ask yourself, why do you do what you do? Well, that was different years ago. You just came, you got a job description, you manage the job description, ask for the salary, hoo-ha, start working. Young people, not anymore. They are asking deeply about your social responsibility. Another one is employee act as a volunteers. There are many volunteer programs which motivate many people. Also, very small 5%. Well, and this is, you can see the results. Now, CJ, this is what we found out with the research. What's your explanation? And what would be your recommendation around this?
Well, this is 2021 numbers. And really what it means is there's an opportunity for the businesses here at Electronica to start focusing on this, not only to communicate their ethical initiatives to their clients and potential clients, but also to their employees. Working directly with engineers at Elektor, we know more and more it's important to the engineers working on the technologies, what their companies are doing. So it's a communications challenge for these companies, not only to communicate externally, but internally.
And CJ, was to ask a question there as well. As content director for Elektor, you've been seeing all of the material we've been collecting on ethics and sustainability. Yeah. How difficult has it been to get companies to share that information with us and find the right interview partners?
I think when they know that we're open to it, they're excited to do so, particularly the small and medium-sized businesses. It can be trickier when you're dealing with the big companies and you have to go through marketing and PR. But I think the smaller and medium-sized companies have been open to it, and they will be more.
I think the most surprising thing is that there are many companies, at least small companies, and if you speak to the owners, that's not listed companies, not on the stock exchanges or something like that, if you ask them about it, they are really socially responsible. They have ethics, they do, but they simply don't communicate about it. Yep. So it's something, and that's too bad, because I would say it's a missing opportunity if you don't say what you do for it, communicate about it, I would say.
Yeah, I agree.
So do we think that it's time now for companies to take a page on the website and really concentrate on this topic and share what they're doing?
Yeah, even the smallest things, what I just pointed out, that the ethical conduct of the IEEE organization, you can simply start with a pledge or a promise, Everybody knows that we are on a journey. You cannot be 100% ethical from day one. It's impossible. But tell them that you are working on it, that you are having promises around it. Yeah. You work on it.
So in our audience here today, is there anyone with any questions on this topic for our panel before we move on? No? Okay, then well, thank you very much for that insight into what's been going on.
All the results can be found on the website, eh? So
yes.
Yeah, super.
And if any companies or individual engineers want to communicate what you're doing, reach out to Elektor, electronic practices, and we can help tell that story.
Check.
Super. Well, thank you very much both for your time. Both Don Akkermans and CJ Abate there, sharing the results of the Lenthe Foundation investigation and research into sustainability statements and ethics statements on corporate websites.